Welcome, and thank you for joining us for Spotlight on Community Giving. I'm your host, LZ Nunn from the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, and we are delighted with this program to host local nonprofits who are doing transformative work in our communities, as well as the donors who help make this happen. Today, we're really thrilled to have Linda Sue from the Angkor Dance Troupe, president of the board of Angkor Dance Troupe. And Linda, you've been with Angkor for a long time. You also work, coincidentally, at Lowell Community Health Center in the teen program portion of the health center. Yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on.
Well, you know, it's really interesting having seen you grow over the years and grow from being a dancer and somebody who's been working on grants a bit with the Angkor Dance Troupe to a community leader, a philanthropist in some ways. You give so much of your time and energy and effort, and the board chair of this incredible organization that I think many people don't know enough about in the community. So tell us a little bit about Angkor. How was it founded?
Well, the Angkor Dance Troupe is based here in the city of Lowell. It was founded back in 1986. My father is actually the founder, Tim Chantu. And the troupe actually began because of the resettlement of the Cambodians from Thailand refugee camps after the genocide that happened in Cambodia in the late 70s. And there was this push to really preserve the culture because it nearly was wiped out during that time period. So my father actually, up to the point that of the refugee camps, he had never danced before, but in the camps, people came together just to try to like kind of pull pieces together of like, oh, I remember this piece or that. When we went go fishing, this is what people do. So he learned how to do folk dance in the refugee camps. So him and a handful of dancers who also resettled in Lowell decided that let's start a dance troupe, or let's start something that we can kind of make to bring our community together. So since 1986, the troupe has grown tremendously. So we're celebrating 25 years this year. And we've trained hundreds of young people. Dancers start as young as 4. I was one of the youngest dancers, so I started when I was 3, and been training and performing all over the Northeast region as well as the country. You know, places like the White House or cultural camps in Colorado. Really getting opportunities for young people in the city to learn more about their culture, but then also to be able to share their knowledge and their culture and pride with other people across the country that may not know much about Cambodian culture.
One of the things that's so fascinating about Angkor Dance Troupe is not only are the dances exquisite, but it also seems to act as its own kind of leadership institute for the dancers who take part in it. They come up through the ranks, they teach their younger dancers, they become almost like professors of dance, and they get to travel around the country. So not only are they stewards, they're leaders. You know, it's been really interesting to see that. So.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting story because a lot of people will say, oh, you know, what does the dance troupe do besides teach dance? And, you know, lots and dozens of our dancers are still dancing after decades of training. They've moved on to take on the community leadership roles in the community. They've left and attended major colleges and universities and taken on some endeavors on their own, like starting small businesses or things like that. And a lot of the feedback we get from the young people and the young adults who move on or continue to support the troupe is that the self-esteem building and the discipline that comes along with training and dancing is like none other. Like it's not type of training or leadership skills that you're just going to get from going to a workshop. You know, it's built over time, that confidence that you have to be able to get on stage in front of tens and thousands of people. You know, we've performed places like First Night at the John Hancock or, you know, when it was the Wang Center, things like that. And not many people can say they've gotten on a stage like that and performed in front of people like that. So it's a dual role of connecting Cambodian American young people with their culture, but then also giving them an opportunity to take leadership roles and opportunities for them to really shine beyond things that they may never really have opportunity to if they weren't engaged in something like the dance troupe.
Another interesting angle about the dance troupe is for a while there was a group, and maybe it's still in play, Emphatic Force, which the sort of the hip hop rung of the dance troupe, which is really incredible because you'd see these dancers who could do the monkey dance or the blessing ceremony, and they were so poised. You know, we should mention that it takes about 2 hours to zip somebody into their costume, and it's not zipped. It's hand stitched.
Yeah.
The makeup is exquisite. It's incredible. So you see the transformation between a dancer going from this exquisitely decorated traditional Cambodian dancer to casual hip hop street dancer.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about Emphatic Force and if that's still connected to Angkor.
Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, it's funny because we get that reaction a lot. So we are Cambodian Americans. We listen to music. We have iPods. We have cell phones. So we're getting ready for a show. We show up to like a major university or something, and we're this world-renowned dance troupe. And all of these young people are coming off the vans, and they're like, "What the heck is like? Who is coming to perform for our university or whatever?" And then this transformation happens. Now you see these people on stage that you would never imagine those are the young people that came off that van or came off that bus. So that reaction is just one thing that's super interesting, that gives that dynamic of being able to balance those two worlds. But specifically for Emphatic, it's a core group of us. It's a group of us, our friends, that we've been dancing together for 15 years. Most of them are family as well too. But Peter Beth, who's the lead choreographer for Emphatic, has also been featured on America's Best Dance Crew and with Static Noise 6. And so a lot of his own talents and kind of passion for dance and for fashion and things like that all kind of are just kind of being held up. So what we try to do is to help kind of foster that, the ability for young people to really kind of be able to bring the Western ways into the traditional Cambodian ways. And we're finding that more and more young people are looking like, yes, I want to do traditional Cambodian dance, but then I also want to like create, and I want to like, what are we going to do for the next 25 years for Angkor, and how are we going to add more to the Cambodian dance and culture and performing arts. So, Emphatic is also involved with Flying Orbs, and they're trained actors and actresses working on experimental films, really utilizing the core like folktale stories of traditional Cambodian dance. And so all of those elements kind of like fuse together, really kind of like, it's really amazing to watch and see, because it's also, you're really seeing them as individuals beyond being a student or a teacher as part of Angkor Dance Troupe, and the possibilities that we have moving forward for the troupe.
And there's certainly an amazing opportunity for people to get to know a little bit more about Angkor at your upcoming 25th anniversary celebration.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the event coming up.
So on October 27th at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, we'll be hosting our 25th anniversary, which will be the world premiere of Apsara Dancing Stones. And Apsara Dancing Stones is a contemporary dance that's fusing Eastern and Western styles of dance as well as music. And it will be a new original piece from the dance troupe. So we're utilizing this 25th year as and the Apsara Dancing Stones in a way to commemorate all of the work that's been put in thus far to get the troupe to where it is today, but then kind of as like a jumping off point to like, how do we move on and move forward. So tickets are on sale through the Lowell Memorial Auditorium website, but we also are offering different packages that's on our dance troupe website, which is www.ankordance.org. We're providing an option for people to come in for a private show and dinner, and then the main event starts at 7:30. And there's a varying different levels of ticket prices, so there should be something that's affordable for everyone. Yeah.
Well, very exciting. Linda, thank you so much for coming and joining us on the show today. And if you would like to know more about Angkor Dance Troupe or many of the other organizations or get involved here in the community, do contact us at the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, www.glcfoundation.org, or give us a call at 978-970-1600. And don't go away, because we have more coming up. Three Rivers Arts will be joining us in a moment, so stay tuned. and welcome back to Spotlight on Community Giving. Today we are having a focus on the arts in the Merrimack Valley segment, and we're really delighted to have a couple of passionate supporters of the arts and patrons and executive directors. We have Monica Hinojos, Executive Director of Three Rivers Arts in Groton, and John Amaral, who's a really strong board supporter. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Monica, you've been a resident of Groton for some time, and also a passionate supporter of arts, creative economy, and sort of a builder of bridges in communities, in many different communities, and we've known each other for a little while.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Three Rivers Arts. You know, how and when were you founded? What was the goal?
So what Three Rivers Arts has actually come into like a new beginning. So originally it was the Groton Center for the Arts. So we've just recently been born this year. So it's, and the GCA was originally founded in 1974. So the organization itself has been in existence and played a huge part of the Groton community for some time. When I came on board last November with the idea of broadening our reach, and so we've kind of made a transition from local to regional to make a bigger impact through the arts. And so in the last several months, we have a completely newly elected board of directors. John Amaral, who's with me today, is one of them. And we've launched several new programs. So it's been quite an exciting time for the organization, but it's been a lot of fun.
It's been an exciting journey.
Yes.
Yes. And John, you've been a longtime Groton resident?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think you have a really interesting story. We were having a conversation in our previous show with some people, and I asked, well, how did you become philanthropists? And they said, well, through my kids. And it sounds like your involvement with Groton or Three Rivers Arts was in part through your daughter.
That is correct. As with many things, once you have children, you lose that identity as your own person for a while, and you become the parent of. So Sadie, our daughter, has been performing with the formerly the GCA, now Three Rivers Arts, for about 4 or 5 years, and introduced me to the organization. And through seeing how much she thrived and enjoyed it, we became a part of that organization at first as a parent volunteer. Parents would help build the sets, would help sell tickets, every facet of the theater productions, and it was a tremendous learning experience because it's not something I had exposure to in my past, but something that has just been a fantastic experience and a great way to become part of the community and give back to the community.
Well, how interesting too that that Three Rivers Arts really sprung up in the community because to fill a need, really, of having a hub of arts and cultural productions and entertainment and really community participation.
Right.
And so how fitting that you can be involved just in your own back door, or in your own neighborhood in really high quality and beautiful performances.
That's true, and it's one of those things that through Monica's efforts and as well as with Edie and Bert Tompkins, who had been the directors for several years, that the community, although we're in Groton, we've made tremendous effort to reach out to the surrounding towns as well, and we do look at the organization as a regional organization, and it's something that brings benefit to Groton, and we hope in turn that we can bring benefit to those other communities.
Well, it is. I mean, the more we think about regionalization, it's certainly something we recognize as our community foundation serves, the Greater Lowell Community Foundation serves 30 towns and communities in the Merrimack and Neshoba Valleys. And so when we think about, how do we best serve those communities, in many ways, it's figuring out how to connect resources with each other.
Exactly.
And recently, Three Rivers Arts partnered with the Cultural Organization of Lowell on a creative economy event. So you've got a growing number of artists in the community, and you are serving them as well. So
yeah, so I think the creative economy is something that we're very passionate about. We've launched a new artist collaborative that's really showcasing the vast talent that we have in the region. I mean, we have one of our artists, Chris Sear, who's an amazing illustrator, was just featured in the Lowell Sun, and he's actually our art director at the Artworks Camp, another youth program that we inherited from the GCA. And he has illustrated with the help of the kids, created 2 new books. One is a poetry book and a second one. So he is an amazing illustrator, designed the outside cover, and then the kids wrote and drew the story. That was like day one. They decided, they created the story, and then part of the class was to draw and create the book. So
Amazing.
it's really quite phenomenal. And then we have, you know, a variety of, you know, our collaborative is really inclusive of not just visual artists, but dancers, poets, musicians. So that's what we're really trying to build and showcase what we have throughout the region. And the creative economy is something that we're doing. So we're launching hopefully next spring, maybe as early as the fall, our Vacant to Vibrant program, which is focused on
Great alliteration,
yeah,
I might add. Vacant to vibrant. I
yeah,
love
so
that.
it's really transforming some Main Street vacant storefronts into vibrant pop-up galleries that will only benefit the downtown area. So we're hoping to pilot the first one in air and then kind of, you know, broaden our reach from there. And then it's just, you know, John has been very helpful with this as well. He's been a phenomenal, you know, board of director. So it's so many things going on in addition to events that we're doing. We're partnering in West Acton with New Habitat Partners. We're launching an arts and music project there, which is going to showcase, you know, the variety of different artists that we have in a marketplace, and having musicians. And so it's the first event that we will be doing, partnering them with the help of Indian Hill, who will be providing some music. And they've also been part of our creative economy as well. That they hosted our second creative economy mixer, bringing together businesses in the region and artists to kind of come together and just kind of figure out like what they can create together.
Yeah,
So
and what an amazing resource Indian Hill
Yes.
is. I mean, such stunning musical programs run out of there. Recently, we took a tour, and I was just amazed. It also brought me back to my younger years as a saxophone player.
Oh, right, that's right.
and there were, you know, the sound barrier rooms, you know, and having to build that. It was fun to see just what an incredible center Indian Hill is.
And it's been great. I mean, it's actually bringing it full circle, because Indian Hill started at the Groton Center for
Yes.
the Arts, and then so we're just kind of bringing it all back. So Susan Randazzo is fantastic, and so
She
we're
really
trying to
is.
figure out how we can continue to collaborate. So we started with the Creative Economy Mixer. Now they're helping to sponsor what we're calling AMP, the Art Music Project in West
Nice.
Acton. And you know, we're just looking for more, like how we can continue to bring music and showcase what they're doing, along with everything else that we're doing in the region. Now that we're a regional organization and not only in Groton, Littleton is part of it. So it's
Right.
like how we want to make
just
sure
a
that
neighbor,
people exactly.
You know, it's
so,
right, a town or two over.
Yeah.
So, John, you've been with the Three Rivers Arts and the Groton Center for the Arts for several years as a board member. You've seen it going through a little bit of a transition. What's it like when you have this incredible, energetic board, new executive director who's got ideas, who's bringing new life, who's bridging connections, who's regionalizing your organization? It must be kind of thrilling and breathe new life from the board perspective as well.
Without a doubt. Monica brings all of that to the organization, and she has taken it in a different direction, and we're building off of the foundation that Edie and Bert Tompkins had put in place over the past 30 plus years. But reaching out to many other communities and putting into place programs that build off of our summer arts camp and our theater programs to now include the Artist Collaborative. We, again, look at our organization as a thread throughout the community, and that thread touches many different pieces of fabric. It touches the children who perform in the plays, it touches the children who are at the camps, artists who can be from 15 to 80 plus years old. Beyond that, it also touches the businesses within the communities that we serve. And part of what Monica has brought to our organization, and quite frankly helped to educate the board members about, is what the vital role is that the arts can play within the economic community. And we've met with many business people, many business owners, and they are thrilled to think that there's an organization like Three Rivers Arts and a director like Monica that has taken this interest, brought it out to them. They're very supportive of the organization. They see the benefits not only for our kids and for the other participants, but for the community as a whole. And that's something that attracted myself and my wife to the organization, is that it's a way that you can give back locally and you can see the results. And at a time when the economy is really affecting everybody in every community, you don't have to look in other parts of the world for people that are in need. And this is a way that we can all give back to the community, see those results, and help our neighbors. And again, it wouldn't be possible without what Monica brings to the organization.
Yeah, well, and it's really interesting, that connection between the arts and a local economy and keeping a place vibrant. There's a new initiative afoot, which many of us who've heard of, or followed a little bit of the arts development of the Art Place initiative around creative placemaking. And I think that's what you're really helping spearhead, is that idea of creating a place and a sense of community around the arts and around a creative economy. So
Yeah, I mean, you've known me for some time, and you know
Yes.
that my passion is really events and bringing people together. So a lot of my initiatives tend to be more event-driven, or at least an opportunity for people to come, whether it's these pop-up galleries that allow people to come and gather and experience the arts, and or events that we have coming up this fall, like AMP I was talking about before, which is happening on September 9th in West Acton. And then we have our big masquerade ball that's going to be happening in November. So there's, a lot of ways that and really the whole idea around Three Rivers Arts is to create community through the power of the arts, and that art itself creates possibility. So, we're very excited, and it's fun for me. It's just to be able to go out and do the things that I love, and then having the support of such a strong board who are very active and are all kind of taking an important role to helping us build a foundation from, an individual who's has a background in employment law, so she's helping with just that standard stuff that needs to happen, in creating all that documents and, hiring practices, that's important. So
sometimes it's just those organizational basics
Yes.
that we all sort of who can help with that, whether
Exactly.
it's your board member or a volunteer, and figuring out a way. And I think that as many of our great executive directors can do, of how to plug people in.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably a welcome addition to the family over at Three Rivers Arts. So
Yeah.
it's exciting to
It
see.
is very exciting.
And so we can stay tuned through your website.
Yes, threeriversarts.com.
Yes, or follow you on Twitter or Facebook.
Yes, and you can
I'll-
find all of that on our homepage,
Great.
and all of our events. So join our collaborative, come attend an event, and
Yes, don't forget about the Masquerade Ball.
Masquerade Ball, November 9th in Devens, and lots of really cool stuff happening next year that we'll be letting you know soon.
Oh, good. So that will be announced soon on
Yes,
the website.
yes.
Okay, well, we'll stay tuned for
Yes.
that. And, we also want to thank you both for joining us. So thank you, Monica, and thank you, John, for being such wonderful guests. And we look forward to following the path of Three Rivers Arts in Groton and all of your development regionally.
Well, thank you so much, Elsie.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. And thank you for all of our viewers for tuning in to Spotlight on Community Giving. We hope you will join us next time. And until then, if you're a donor looking to find a way to give back to your community, give us a call 978-970-1600, or find us on the web, www.glcfoundation.org. Stay tuned and see you next time.